bit of play takes us to.
Do you think we're gonna see someone going for that early Houlihan strat?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I tend to do it, but I'm weird. Well, I would have been disappointed, because there's the power glove in Link's house.
That's a pretty good first chest to get.
Yep. I tend to not do Link's house until after I've gone through Kakariko Village.
Oh, yeah. And we are seeing a Houlihan from Ninban.
Alright. And how do you do this without having to reset the screen? Anyway.
I don't know. I always reset the screen. And just single rupees from the tree pull.
And just a big 20 on the race game, so nothing that important.
And just a single rupee on the lumberjack ledge as well, so Aga is definitely not confirmed yet.
Alright, we did see a small key on the library. That's something you may want to keep in mind. Not to bring back any bad memories or anything.
Yeah, I just call that place the house that must not be named.
And d2kemps in the Lost Woods finds my favorite item, the magic powder.
Yeah, and we did get a cape as well, so early Agam, at least the first chest is available for them.
Yep, and we also find the Turtle Rock Big Key in the Thieves' Hideout in Lost Woods.
Problems is going for some bomb farming because they haven't found a lot of money yet.
Yep. It's it's something you can do if you elect not to do the Houlihan play, which would get you all the money you need, but at the same time wastes a little bit of time potentially. And we did find the hook shot in Kakariko's well.
That's an excellent find.
d2kemps unfortunately going in there without bombs, and
yeah, but
needs to go back.
I have a hard time seeing him not coming back for that.
Ooh, and there's the ice rod inside Blind's hut. And the hammer!
And the hammer as well.
Alright guys, find some magic, turn around, go to Magic Bat.
Yeah, it's actually really early Batcave Shake available for them.
But find some magic first. I'm only saying this from experience.
Yeah, and it does looks like d2kemps is going down there without any magic.
Whoops. Oh well, it happens to the best of us. So the hammer, the ice rod, the hook shot, the glove, the powder, the cape.
Yeah, that's some good early finds.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty disparate collection of random things. But, I mean, who here is thinking Sequence Break to Death Mountain right now? Because I am.
Yeah, I guess with the hookshot they can check almost everything.
If they can go to the east side, and then they can use the hammer to get back up to Hera if they need to. They can't actually get what's on top of Spectacle Rock without the mirror.
Yeah, but they can at least look at it.
So Problem's picking up that powder as well.
Yeah, the early game is pretty much the same for all our runners, with just some small differences.
Yeah, a little variation in the direction you clear things in, but no real surprises there. All right, so
might see an back of escape here from Problems.
Yeah. Back of escape seems like the best initial play. And we see d2kemps doing what is not an uncommon play, which is the YOLO race game play. Just a little cache of stuff and assorted junk there in the back of escape. And Problems will now be heading, I'm guessing, South Shore, but he might head to Hyrule Castle. Alright, South Shore.
Yeah, with that hookshot and the hammer, they're gonna have no problem at all with facing off with those mini Moldorms.
Oh yeah, hookshot makes my life infinitely better against those mini Moldorms. And of course, the hookshot also allows you to pull off this little trick.
And we found the Moon Pearl!
Wow.
That's Dark World access already.
Well then. Hand me a mirror and I'm a happy camper right now. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
You hand me a mirror. Now, Problems would potentially have the opportunity to fake Flipper up to the Zora area here in a minute. The only problem with that is no money for actual Zora. Problems is very broke right now. We also saw d2kemps doing a slightly later Houlihan play there.
Yeah, it's been a rich seed with items, but not with money at all.
Hey, there's that Desert Palace big key you were talking about a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the first one, but it was close.
Yeah, and they don't have access to Desert Palace yet.
Yep, that's okay. The book's going to be in the Ice Rod Cave.
I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah. So a lot of times in, open mode or standard mode, you'll see people skip the Ice Rod Cave because it's way out of the way.
Yeah.
Not so much as common a play in Keysanity.
Yeah, in Keysanity, it's just so dangerous to leave anything behind. There's so much more items to find with all the keys.
Well, sword is kind of like a book.
Mm-hmm. And the front of escape hasn't shown very much yet.
How many races scheduled tomorrow? I don't know yet. I should look into it. It's not a small number, let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wanting to start this tournament just last week, so...
Hey, we found another big key. It was the Hyrule Castle one.
Mm-hmm. Vanilla.
Yeah, that's amazing. How did that get there? No, that's guaranteed. We don't shuffle enemy drops. At least not not keys and stuff that are dropped by enemies.
Yeah, that would be interesting though.
Yeah, about as interesting as Pot Shuffle. Pot Shuffle, aka prepare to get trolled.
Yeah. And Ninban is going for the Eastern Palace play, or at least Sahasrahla to begin with.
Yep. And I'm being told there are 8 matches being scheduled for tomorrow. So you'll be able to get your Keysanity fix on all day. I'm not sure if that's a penguin or a puffin, but it's one of those two. And it looks like Ice Palace is our green pendant for today. And we have d2kemps making the play on the Dark Escape Room.
Yeah, it's an easy location to forget.
Yep.
So just getting it out of the way right away.
It's not the easiest dark room to do, but it's not impossible. Meanwhile, ProblemsIRL is getting the first chest in Agate Tower out of the way.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to be a little bit careful here.
Yep. The hammer will take down the ball and chain guards in 2 hits, but you want to make sure not to, like, let them hit you. Oh, which is unfortunate.
Oh, too bad, but at least it's just the first room to do over, so... He won't be losing too much time on that.
Ah, so it is apparently Problem's mascot sprite. So, shows how much I know.
And I do believe we're gonna see an... oh, never mind. He's going for Dark World. Caladrius. I thought he was gonna go check Batcave.
So, Aga paying off, that cape being a fairly good indicator that something was going to happen, that was the big key of Thieves Town. Inside the first Aga chest.
Oh yeah, that's big.
So the Death Mountain play does seem good, but so does the Dark World play, so it's kind of a wash in my brain right now.
Yeah, for sure, there's definitely a lot of items in both places. And if they were to find the myths in the Dark World now, then they can do everything on Death Mountain right away.
Apparently they found a Skull Wood small key at some point, and I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's not the most important item to find.
It's not.
It does make things a little bit easier though.
But the logic wants you to have one to beat Mothula. Because it's possible to use your keys badly and leave that door.
Oh, and the
available.
fire rod in Skull Woods.
Vanilla dungeon. Housing its vanilla item. Only one room away from where it's generally held. And so this gives Caladrius the unfortunate option of attempting to defeat Mothula with 5 hearts, green mail, and fighter sword.
Yeah, I don't envy him.
d2kemps is also going to the Dark World, but he's starting near Hype Cave.
So how much hype do you think we're gonna get from this cave today?
There could be some hype. Titan's Mitts seems like a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
How about Shovel to Titan's Mitts?
Yeah, not too much hype there.
Yeah, unless Shovel turns out to be something big.
Yeah, it could be.
It will in fact be nothing.
And it looks like Caladrius is choosing not to beat Mothula right now, and I don't blame him at all.
I don't blame anybody for shying away from that particular play. Oh, we just saw d2kemps check the bomb shop, and I did not see what it was.
It seems to have been Hera at least, and Hera and Swamp Palace.
Oh, so we know Swamp is a crystal, so that means we are absolutely going to need to find that Swamp Palace small key.
Yep. And the most
There are the Titan's Mitts.
Oh god.
In the brewery, as it's called in the spoiler log.
Yeah. Yeah, the CD has been nice to give out a lot of items early, but not much for safety.
And it looks like Caladrius just picked up some safety in the form of the first bottle. Now it's just got a green potion in it, but, you know, if I was looking for something to make it, you know, relatively possible to kill Mothula, a green potion, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not the worst.
I think there was an empty
bust out
bottle
that fire
at
rod.
Sahasrara as well.
Ah. So he just checked the shovel. I did not see what it was, but he looked like he was walking away in disgust.
Yeah, I actually missed it too.
Meanwhile, Caladrius has made his way into Thieves Town.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to full clear this. Because he doesn't have the big key.
Yep. When ProblemsIRL gets there, he will be able to clear out everything but the big chest. And
oh,
so
it's the second one for Castle Tower.
Was it the second one?
Oh no, yeah, it's the first one. Never mind.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was
gives
just
them access to the second chest. That's what I was thinking.
Right there, you go. The second chest in Castle Tower is now available. Now, Problems is making his way into the back of Skull Woods. He may be checking this one chest, or he may actually be making the play on Mothula. Problems is the caliber of player that I think could pull this off.
Yeah, and meanwhile Ninban is going for some water walking. Unfortunately, oh no, he picked up some money in that waterfall cave, so he can actually check Sora now.
Wow, that's a fortunate bit of money. Now, unfortunately, we just see a piece of heart on Zora's ledge, but you never know what Zora has to offer.
Yeah, let's spend this 500 well-earned money and see what we get for it. And just a big 20.
Yeah, so Bombos also in Waterfall Cave. That's pretty good.
Oh, and the digging game has the flippers.
Ooh, swimmy time. Alright, so that clears up the sequence break there for Bombos. And Caladrius having picked up the Titan's mitts, is going to start the Smith chain.
Yeah, it makes sense to do as much overworld as you can.
And we can do the magic bat, finally. Now that we have magic.
Yeah, not right yet though, because he doesn't have the mirror yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. You know, mirror's important.
And it does look like Problem is making his way against Mothula.
Oh boy, this is going to be an intense fight. Let me tell you, Mothula is not your friend.
He's doing pretty well so far, but it doesn't take a lot of hits to lose this fight.
Yeah, you want to make sure in this particular form, if you're gonna take damage from the spikes.
Yeah, so then you only lose 1 heart instead of 2.
Do not face tank Mothula or any of his attacks.
And well played by
done.
Problem.
ProblemsIRL with the sword spins, and it's the big key of Skullwoods. So, the big key of the dungeon itself, found on Mothula, which
and
I imagine Problems will
in
just go.
Skullwood as well.
Yeah. I imagine Problems will probably just go check that.
Yeah, and it looks like the smith just made a little lamp for Caladrius.
Ooh. So there we go. We know where the vision is. And that lamp, to me, says, if you are not going to Death Mountain right now, something is horribly wrong.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of excuses left for not going.
Because now the sequence break is gone. So ProblemsIRL taking the, not often seen vanilla route to the big chest.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you don't have a lot of hearts and you have green mail, so why not?
And that turning out not to be the biggest deal. It's just a bottle, but it does have blue goo in it, so there you go. Another strategy that Problems was employing there on Mothula was, making sure to do sword spins, because they'll do Master Sword damage instead of Fighter Sword damage, so you only have to do 8 hits instead of 16, and it lags the game. But in this case, I think that's an upside.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier to escape from those spikes.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier to dodge with that whole intentional lag creation strat. And Caladrius, as expected, is making the play on Death Mountain.
Yeah, we have a lot of locations up here.
Alright, so old man with a Meyer small key. So I have gone back on one of my stances. I used to think that that the logic did not care one bit about Meyer small keys. It does if you don't have the big key.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I mean, even if it's not required to have all the small keys, it can make your life easier.
Right. So minimum amount of chest keys to beat but not full clear all the dungeons. So for pod you need 1, actually, to just beat it. Because you can just walk in, open the door, or walk in, go through the bowlock section, and just go to Helmasaur. For Swamp, you need the 1. Turtle Rock, you need 3. Let's see. You don't need any for Mire, you don't need any for Ice, you don't need any for Thieves Town. Don't need anything for Skullwoods. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Ninban is going with, you know, the hardcore mode here with the invisible sprite. Which, if you're a fan of the invisible sprite, I invite you to come back to the Speed Gaming Network tonight at 11 p.m. And that... Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the mirror. In Mini Moldern Cave, number 2.
Or, yeah. I guess that is a mini Moldorm cave. I didn't even think about that. We also call that the Paradox Cave because of the weird spatial relationship between the inside and the outside. But yeah, that's a big deal. The mirror unlocks quite a bit, and with his access to the Titan's Mitts, he's going to be able to clear out basically everything up here.
Yeah, and he also found the big key for Mire as well.
Yep, big key for Mire. So the question is, does he want to find the Cane of Samaria right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. How many small keys does he have to turn the rock? 1.
Just the 1.
So you can't check too much in there, man.
Yeah, there's with one key there are, I believe, 4 chests you can check. The first one, the 2 on the fire rod side, and the chomp room.
Yeah, and chomp room with green mail is not fun at all.
That is true. Nor is that pokey right before it. But I guess with the fire rod, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, fire rod does tend to make your life a little bit easier.
So Caladrius is just gonna check the first 2 chests here in Tower of Hera, and peace out. I also note that we found some non-trivial number of pod keys. I think it's 2.
Yeah, I think the maximum anyone has is 2.
d2kemps about to pick up his Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, and Problem is soon done with Thieves Town, but unfortunately he's gonna have to leave that big chest behind, and that can troll you a lot of times.
Oh yeah, there are often items there in the big chest of Thieves Town. But then again, it could be that the Thieves Town big chest contains the small key for Thieves Town.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. However,
it's a lot less likely in Keysanity.
Here.
A lot less likely in Keysanity, but what do you do? It's still possible.
And with the Titan's Mitt and Flippers and Fire Rod, they actually can do ice as well.
Oh yeah, Ice Palace is now on the table. Looks like Thieves Town turns out to just be the blue pendant. Oh, apparently Pod... I'm being told by the chat that Pod contains 15 keys.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I believe the chat is always right. That's not true. I believe the mantra is always listen to chat, never listen to chat. I think that's the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Caladrius picking up the Super Bunny Cave chests, and then heading into the Hookshot Cave. I do believe it was just a big 20 on the floating island, so no real reason to head there.
Yeah, and meanwhile the other players are kind of retracking each other. And there's a big key for Ganon.
There's the big key of Ganon's Tower, so our trip through Ganon's Tower today will be very short. One thing that's true about Keysanity: if you don't like rummaging around in Ganon's basement, it's a rare occasion in Keysanity.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like d2kemps is making the same play up Death Mountain.
Alright. Yep, so d2kemps gonna get the veritable treasure trove that Caladrius just picked up, which I believe included a Master Sword at some point.
Oh yeah, I must have missed that. And that's gonna be d2kemps' first sword, it seems like.
Yeah, so d2kemps did skip the Ice Rod Cave, which, as we say, not a common play, but it does happen. And we see the Sick Kid check, just a big 20 from the Sick Kid.
Yeah, it does look like he's making his way back into Skull Woods, maybe.
Oh, I didn't realize how quick the flippers came up in the dig game. It was the very first dig. So that's nice. Though, if I was Ninban with the number of rupees I'm sitting on, I might keep digging. I mean,
yeah, for sure, it doesn't hurt.
I guess really the only thing he needs rupees for now is pod, and that's enough.
And just some bombs on the pyramid.
Yep. So I'm kind of secretly hoping, except now that I'm saying it out loud, it's no longer a secret, that there's that we're in one of those trolley seeds where there's something important in the very first chest of swamp.
Yeah, maybe the swamp smoky.
That would be ridiculous. We haven't seen one of those in a while since they fixed the logic. There's a map in the Haunted Grove Cave. That could be useful. It's a map of desert. Seems reasonable. He might check it immediately if I was him.
Yeah,
he sure
and
does,
it
and
is
it's
a crystal. Picking up maps in Keysanity does have some use. It shows the crystals or pendants, depending on what they are. And I missed catfish.
Whoa, there was a catfish check?
Yeah, ProblemsIRL.
Yeah, catfish is a play, and it can really troll you in Keysanity. So apparently in the initial version of this V27, there.
Oh, and the catfish had Eastern Palace Big Key.
Eastern Big Key. What? Nice. But yeah, apparently in the earlier versions of this logic, there was about a 10% chance for Swamp to contain its own small key, and that was not the original intention. In addition, it could not contain any progression items other than the small key.
Yeah, so with that fixed, there's definitely a possibility for some progression there now.
Yep. Had a scene where the Titans bits were there, and it made me want to cry.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's a good name for the hype cave this time. Shovelware Cave. I like it. So Problem's gonna pick up his lamp and finally fix that sequence break that he's so reluctant to do, heading up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, and Caladrius is heading down now to turn in this little lunch box and see what he gets.
All right. I kind of hope he gets the book
again as well.
So if he gets the book here, he could immediately go check the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, and he could clear Desert Palace as well.
Yep, but no book.
Oh, we're gonna see that chest in Swamp Palace now. Or not. Deciding to go in.
I know some people will go for that play. I mean, it seems like the sort of thing that very few people would actually go for, and so if you want to look for a high variance play that might get you way ahead, that's a possibility.
Yeah, most of the time it's just gonna be a waste of your time.
Alright, so Caladrius is picking up a big chunk of change there on the floating island. I imagine he'll be heading to Hobo and then potentially go pick up his Bombos in the Waterfall Cave. Now, Ninban gonna check the top of Turtle Rock here. We'll get to see what that's gonna require. It appears to be the Quack.
Yeah, so he can open it now, but he can't do much more with Turtle Rock.
He could go in and get a magic refill.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I'd actually be tempted to do that.
Yeah, because then you can do Spike Cave, actually. Because I think one of his bottles...
Oh no, there's a magic refill in Super Bunny Cave. Forget that. d2kemps was trying Spike Cave, but that didn't work out. Ah, so Super Bunny Cave is what held the sword upgrade. Now Problems at 40 minutes in, making the Death Mountain play. Gonna grab all that wonderful stuff up the stairs.
Yeah, it's really nice when you can just go and do all those overworld locations on Death Mountain in just one go.
It also means we will not be seeing a massive search for the Ganon Tower Big Key. Ah, yes. It behooves me to explain what the Super Bunny Cave, why it's called that, because it may not be apparent to everybody. The idea is if you manage to get there as a bunny, which is possible in this, you get the Titan's mitts without, and you just get the Titan's mitts and without the Moon Pearl, and so you lift the warp, go in, maneuver your way around. If you fall in that hole, it puts you in the Super Bunny state, which allows you to open chests and swing your sword and whatever as a bunny. So you can get those 2 chests as a bunny. It is considered a sequence break by the logic, so it is not considered something you have to do to get chests. Even though it requires absolutely no special trick.
And d2kemps is electing to go into ice with just a fire rod and fighter sword.
Yeah, that is a brave move. But Ice Palace does kind of seem like a decent play at the moment.
Yeah, it could pay off big time.
The only other play I would have possibly gone was checksum a pod, which it looks like Caladrius is doing. And fortunately, he does have 129 rupees. I'm not going to tell you how many times I've recently tried to open pod without money, but...
Yeah, it's just one of those things that's easy to forget.
Oh, and Caladrius is coming over here, having not checked Sahasrah's cave in the first place, which really feels, to be honest, it actually feels very good when you can come over here and clear Pod and Eastern area at the same time. Feels very good.
Yeah. And Ninban is gonna check both chests now at Aiga. So we're gonna see what that second chest contains.
Ooh, nice. And of course, they are both in the logic right now on account of that lamp and the 1 castle tower key from Thieves Town. Speaking of which, he picks up that big key. Well, by clear, I mean clear out the things you can get to, because you don't expect to have the bow when you come over to Eastern Pod. That's never gonna happen. Your life is not that great.
Maybe it's in Pod.
But yeah, the fact that I think between all of our racers there are 3 separate pod keys. Or I guess among would be the technical word there. Turtle Rock without Kane is possible if you are a superhuman being.
Yeah,
I know we've seen it on stream.
Require people to have the boots, which we have not.
Yeah, there's also that.
Oh, and the tempered sword in pod.
Ooh, very nice.
And I believe that ProblemsIRL is the only one who picked up the big key for Eastern at Catfish, so just imagine the trolls that would be if it's a vanilla bow in Eastern.
Ooh, vanilla bow would be pretty troll. D2kemps making his way through Ice Palace. Still got a few chests in here to check.
Yeah, and since he didn't go to pick up that bombos, he's gonna have to make sure that he doesn't waste too much magic.
Yeah,
I do believe he has a blue bottle, a blue potion.
Yeah. Blue potion or a green one somewhere.
He used the green one already.
Oh, okay. Did he beat Mothula?
No, I think he went into Ice Palace without any magic, so he used it right away.
Alright. Well, because Mothula was how you got the blue potion bottle.
Oh, okay. So then he doesn't have any potions.
Ooh, but there's the flute in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's a pretty big find.
Yeah, so I have to. There's a comment I have to go for here. So I'm not sure how I would do this if I were d2kemps trying to get the magic that I need, because he may just have to rely on drops.
Yeah, there's 2 small ones in here, but I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more magic, and he knows
And
it.
yeah, he realized it as well.
What I was considering there is, after picking up that chest in the hookshot room, actually just mirroring to the top and then heading back down as fast as I can, because at the very least I would have a small key that I didn't have before, and I could use that to get into the room where the crystal switch is, where there are 3 small magic pots.
Yeah. But Ice is a pendant as well, so he might just elect not to go back there.
Yeah, that is a
possibility.
possibility.
He has access to both Desert and Mire now, if it's Quake.
Alright. So d2kemps unlocking the Swag Duck of Dreams. And there may be something in the future.
Yeah,
we'll see.
One thing that's good with him finding the flute is that he might actually go to Ice Rock Cave and get his Master Sword.
Yeah, that's true. So, we've got Ninban making his way through the back of Thieves Town after picking up that big key. We've got Problems making his way through Eastern.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna see what this big chest contains now.
How much are we hoping for Vanilla Bow?
Well, I know that most of the runners are not hoping for it, at least.
Right. Except maybe Problems, because he's like, I went to Catfish, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. And I mean, if Eastern turns out to be a crystal, Bow can still be on pedestal as well.
Oh boy. Alright, the big chest of Eastern Palace contains 50 rupees. So, debated?
Kind of, but I mean,
I'm not saying he got debated. I'm saying we got debated. Yeah, not saying he got debated. I'm saying we got debated by that chest. All that hype. Alright, so D2's gonna stock up on consumables.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to be safe.
Caladrius gonna get that big Thieves Town key in Aghanim's tower.
Yeah, I think that was the first chest. The second...
The second just turns out to be a little bit of love. Though it does get him a new heart. That's fun.
I mean, were we seeing a Mire Shed?
Doesn't look like there was much.
No, not really. But there's a ton of items to check around this area. So
Checkerboard Cave and that all-important Desert Palace. Which, if I'm not mistaken, we did find the big key for.
Yeah, they did find the big key for that. And they have fire as well, so...
I don't remember seeing the small key, and no, he doesn't have it, so... Have you ever stolen the key for Desert Palace?
No. I thought about doing it once, and then I didn't. But I should have, because it had a hammer. But it's such a big risk. I mean, if you don't find that small key can be like anywhere.
Yeah. So the torch today, not particularly great. Just 3 bombs, so people hoping for boots trolling, not getting it. It looks like d2kemps will also not be... Well, I don't know. He might steal the key. He's still got to go get it. Or he could just not. I mean, you could go to Agana while you're down here.
Yeah, sure.
I think that was on accident.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually what it was supposed to do, but...
Alright, so ProblemsIRL making his way through Ice Palace. He's going to do the Ice Palace bomb jump. And it does appear that both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are locked by the Quake medallion. So yes, the Quake medallion everybody's favorite Richter scale altering device.
Yeah, and that's good news for d2kemps that it wasn't Bombos.
Problems, apparently having some problems. But he's going to continue to clear out Ice Palace anyway.
Yeah, and I mean with the green mail doing that bomb jump, you don't get too many tries. Because every time you fail, you're losing 2 hearts.
I didn't see what was in the checkerboard cave. I looked away for half a second.
I think it was just a compass.
Alright. That's definitely something you don't want to bother picking up if you are racing. You know, if you're a casual player and you just want to try out Keysanity, it certainly doesn't hurt. Because the compass will show you how many items there are remaining in every dungeon. Or in the dungeon that it corresponds to.
Yeah, and it looks like Ninban is going for the Swamp Palace. Did he find the small key? I don't think so. So he's just going for that one chest.
Okay, so we are gonna see the swamp play. Will it pay off? Incoming disappointment in 3, 2, 1. Big 20.
You're seeing some fire rod strats on the Lamolas here. And Caladrius just taking out Mafia very easy.
Yep, few more hearts than Problems did it with.
Yeah.
And a much better sword. Yeah, Tempered Sword on Moth makes it very easy.
Is it 6 attacks with Tempered?
4.
4?
4 hits with Tempered. Now, usually for me it's like 6 or 7 because I always knock him into the spikes like a dirt machine. But there you go.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes for me as well.
Did they fix the spike knockback thing on GBA?
The spike knockback?
Where if you knock him into the spikes, he doesn't take damage.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't read chat, so I was just wondering. Wait.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So if that's the case, I demand GBA randomizer. Nah, I'm kidding. So it is theoretically possible to kill Moth with the Butter Sword in the original game, but you have to poke him to death.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the most fun thing to do in the world.
Oh, Tempered Sword spin counts as damage. That makes sense. And you'll note, even in our fixed version where the Butter Sword will damage Moth, the Tempered Sword spin will still not damage Moth.
So d2kemps making his way through Mire now. And it looks like he might be joined by Problems in not too long.
Alright, so the play on Mire, the risk here is the fact that you've got the you're going into Mire without the Cane of Samaria. Cane of Samaria, of course, required to complete the dungeon. However, I have known Mire to contain too many of its own required items in the past. Either the cane, or its own big key, or the lamp.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it doesn't have that, you can still check every location except for Vitria, so... So it's interesting that both of our runners that were in Ice Palace decided not to go for the Cold Stair fight. And the Cold Stair does have one item plus another one with the green pendant, so...
And if I'm not mistaken, the vanilla big key chest in Misery Mire, as recently discussed, contained the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, you called it.
And if you are wondering, I believe that means it has to be cane?
Oh, and the book as well.
When we've got literacy.
And d2kemps has not defeated Skull Woods yet, so he might go for that pet check.
It's entirely possible. Meanwhile, Caladrius going up against Blind. He's got the cape out in case something goes horribly wrong. And interestingly enough, d2kemps opting to skip out on one of the chests here in Misery Mire.
Yeah, it's a dangerous gamble to leave things behind in dungeons, especially in Keysanity.
And it would have been possible for him to actually hookshot onto that chest from where he was, grab it, and then fall in the hole to go back to the other side. But you have to make sure to hookshot to the bottom. Don't hookshot directly to the side because you'll fall off. The big key was... Let's see, the big key for Mire was in Paradox Cave, I believe. But, we're about to see an impressive, Vitreous fight.
Oh yeah, no bow, no only fight a sword. It's not the most fun fight.
Ooh, we're about to apply some explosives to Vitreous. Bomb Vidi is a fight. More often than not, you see an entrance shuffle.
Yeah.
And Caladrius just kind of picked up something important that was available to our runners quite early. And it was the boots in the graveyard ledge.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty trolley location to have the boots actually. Because a lot of people don't like to check that before getting the boots.
And we're being told that Cold Stare, in fact, had the mushroom.
Yeah, so Cold Stare handing out double fetch quest with that pendant and mushroom.
And Problems making his way into Mire. He's going to be happy, I think, with the Cane of Samaria. What was that? On Caladrius' screen? Ah, it was a fire shield. I'm like, that was red and I couldn't tell what it was. Fire shield right after you beat blind. Feels good.
Yeah, it's kind of the moment you want to have it.
And it looks like Caladrius is going to make the play on Ice Palace.
Yeah, and he's gonna get his flute here, which is actually required this race because the book was in Mire. So they can't beat the desert without the flute.
Yep. That is 100% correct. I was about to be like, what does the book have to do with anything? But yeah, that's it. You can't get in. The only other way into desert was in Mire, so good luck. We don't allow glitches in this mode. We don't let you overworld clip into Mire. Let's see. Well, the pedestal can have the bow if and only if Eastern Palace is a crystal.
Yeah, and the bow is that one item they have for item go mode, but then they still need some small keys as well, and big keys.
Yeah, they will need the small key to Swamp, and the big key of Hera, I believe. And Pod.
Yeah, and I don't know how many small keys they have to Turtle Rock, but that, I mean, Turtle Rock can still be the last pendant.
And Problems picking up that cane. Caladrius spinning down a row of oncoming pen gators to proceed toward that flute. That flute, of course, was in the vanilla big key chest here in Ice Palace.
Yeah, and ProblemsIRL is making his way down to Vitreous. He's gonna at least have the Master Sword on this fight.
I think with our runners knowing that Desert is a crystal, I can't see anyone stealing the key. You would go for the crystal, you know? Now, if I know that desert is a pendant, I might steal the key. But that's a maybe.
Yeah, they know they're gonna have to clear desert, but they don't know that that room is gonna be required.
There is that, the curiosity of wanting to know what exactly is there can sort of eat at you.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if d2kemps or Problem, they both have the cane, see if they make their way up to Turtle Rock.
Now, Caladrius is having the same magic situation as that d2kemps had, but he does have the Bombos medallion, so that's not actually going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I actually think there's a couple of magic pots in the room he was just in, and there's one right there, which he elected not to pick up. That's okay. Tempered sword, you don't really need all your fire rod shots, or maybe any of your fire rod shots. He's a little low on health. The problems is, you know, showing off what he can do against Vitreous with a very small amount of equipment.
Yeah, they got nothing on Problems.
Yeah, I find that more often than not in this mode I end up with bow or silver arrows or both by the time I reach Vitreous, and they have neither. And he's got the half magic today.
Yeah, and a crystal as well.
Alright, so Myers a crystal. That means the last pendant is either in Turtle Rock or at Eastern Palace.
And d2kemps is now electing to clear out Skullwood, so maybe we're gonna see a pet check after this.
It's entirely possible. That does seem reasonable, and then we'll know for sure. Now, one thing you can say is if it's one of those required big keys like Tower of Hera or Pod, you'll definitely need to do Pedestal. If it's Bow, you'll definitely need to do Pedestal. If it's Swamp Palace Big Key, maybe not. If it's Ice Palace Big Key, they would expect you to do it.
Yeah, I think one of the worst things when checking Pedestal is checking it and still not being sure if you need the thing or not.
And of course I got distracted by doing commentary on the race, and I believe I missed my last opportunity to do the Swag Duck song, but that's okay. This is not about the Swag Duck song, this is about the racers. if Swamp Palace small key is on pedestal, then pedestal is required, and it's always a crystal.
Yeah, and it does look like Kemps decided not to check the pedestal, so we'll get a Bombo's tablet check here, but just 5 arrow upgrade.
But yes, we do know that Swamp is a crystal. But yeah, if you see Swamp small key on the pedestal, then you're like, okay, now I have to clear everything. Because it's just like, okay, if Swamp were a pendant, you couldn't get the Swamp small key to get in, so it can't be a pendant. Therefore, it's a crystal. Therefore, you need the key.
Yep, pretty much.
And Problems is also about to be strongly disappointed by a big 20. Ninban gonna pick up his Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to get that one.
Turtle Rock does seem like a reasonable play at the moment. I think we found maybe 2 keys. Nope, just one. Just one small key for Turtle Rock. I mean, it is a reasonable play. And I think Problems is going to check the Ether tablet while he's up here.
Yeah, that looks like a reasonable play to do before you go in there.
Yeah, that did always bother me, Head Cheese Eater. I was very, that always bothered me playing this game, in that hole that you had to drop in to get the big key in Mire was just a dark hole, and every other hole you could fall down in the game had a little texture underneath it to show that you could. If there is only one small key that is randomized for Swamp Palace, because it's the only one that appears in a chest. The rest of them are all under pots, and we don't mess with pots unless you're playing Randomizer. And even then, we only move them around to pots in the same room.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that the pot shuffle isn't too mainstream.
Yeah. I know that some of the people on my stream love pot shuffle, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, you love pot shuffle as long as you're not playing the game, so.
Yeah. So yeah, the boots were on the graveyard ledge, which is a little bit of an advantage that Caladrius has over the remaining runners.
Yeah, and they might not be required because they haven't led to anything important yet, right?
Not as far as I can tell. And the only other place that the boots could actually be required for is the Ganon's Tower torch, and that's not required either. Though it would be funny to see Silvers there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's a small key on the library. And I don't think we've seen that.
Oh, and he got a vanilla small key in Turtle Rock now as well, so he can go deeper.
T-Rockception. We need to go deeper.
Meanwhile, Ninban is finishing up his fight against Vitreous, getting that crystal.
I expect Problems to pick up this small key and head up. Yeah. The T-Rock Lava Island, or the Vanilla Big Key Chest, tends to be the one people leave behind.
Yeah, it's reasonable. If you have to decide by checking one chest or checking Laser Bridge plus defeating Trinex, you have a better chance checking those chests.
Now, when you have another key, then it's down to either defeating Trinex or checking that chest, because Laser Bridge is in it either way. But still, yeah, you'll want to go for Trinex.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if you don't know if it's a crystal or not.
Right. And we still don't have that knowledge. We find the Hyrule Castle small key in the Mimic Cave. Yeah, you will always be able to find a fourth small key if you go to that big key chest. But it may be quite a bit out of the way. So that's why most players won't go for it. Well, the fourth T-Rock key can be behind whatever's in that chest, because of the most recent logic update.
Yeah, it's one of those keys that...
but it can't be behind Trinex.
It can lock itself, but nothing else.
The new key for key.
That's a small key for desert on Laser Bridge.
The desert small key, so... Oh, and the Eastern Palace map. This trip is now officially justified.
Yeah, and another one to Pod as well.
And Blue Mail. About time.
And it looks like Eastern is the last crystal, so Pedream is still alive.
So peace out, Turtle Rock. ProblemsIRL gonna make his way over to Desert. gonna get to see what 2 items are inside the right-hand side of Desert Palace.
Swamp, small key, and bow.
Wow. Bold prediction from Walther the Fourth, everybody. We will have to figure out if we will need to schedule your witch trial here in a minute. That is a T-Rock key. And the Hera Big Key. So we head back up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've already found the mushroom, actually, so mushroom is on Cold Stare. Did we ever check the small key in the library?
I don't think anyone has done it yet, so I'm liking your thinking. That might be important.
Yeah, that could be Swamp Small Key. Like we said, it's the second most important key in the game. I mean, you could have Ganon's Big Key there, but that's not fun either.
No, especially not if you forget it.
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happens. Alright, so Problem's gonna make his way into... Yeah, we do have the Ganon's Big Key. Sorry, I'm being a jerk. That's what I'm doing. Anyway.
Yeah, the big key for Ganon's Tower was pretty early to play.
Yeah, it was in the, I think, like, the 3rd chest you'd pick up in Hookshot Cave.
And there's the bow in pod.
What?
And the Swamp Palace small key. Wow.
Wow! Wow!
So they were in the same room.
So the bow and the swamp key were in pod. And I think one of our runners went into pod and looked, but they just didn't do the dark room, I guess, because they didn't have the lamp. Or maybe they tried to bow lock themselves out by checking the big key chest. Yeah, there it is. I find in general, going with the option that gives you more locations to check is usually correct, even if it's technically outside the logic.
And Problems
so
is
d2kemps finally picks up a Master Sword.
Oh, so is that the 4th sword then?
No, I think that was one that Caladrius picked up.
Ah,
okay. It was in the basement chest of pod.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Another place where no one has forgotten anything.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what you're talking about. The thing with pod is there's just so many weird paths you have to take to get through it. I think we just found the 4th T-Rock key.
Yeah, I think that's... we pretty much know every location for Go mode right now.
Oh, so it looks like Ninban did go ahead and check the Turtle Rock big chest. Now that's not the end of the world, but it does mean he's going to have to find that bow, basically, before he can manage to get the big key of Hera.
And another interesting thing with us knowing the last crystal now is that I don't think everyone has checked Catfish yet. It's just d2kemps and ProblemsIRL who checked it.
Oh man, I think D2 just kind of jumped out into a little bit of a lead here. Having that bow, able to finish Eastern. I think it comes down to, does Armos drop the pod key or does Trinex drop the pod key?
We did have one pod key in Desert.
True. I meant to say the pod big key.
Oh, yeah. So the pod big key is the only thing that can be on pedestal about now.
Yeah, that's true. And we've just got a big love from the Armos Knights. Yeah, everyone has to do the laser bridge today, no matter how you slice it. The only pod key that D2 doesn't have is the big one. Alright, so let's see what Trinex has today. ProblemsIRL doing the Hammer Trinex fight, which, you know, it's not trivial, because the Hammer hitbox is awful. But it's okay.
Yeah, there's definitely worse bosses to fight with the hammer.
Oh well, maybe D2 didn't have a pod key for the Dark Maze, but I think I think there's one in here, in Meyer. I don't know.
The one pod key that D2 doesn't have is the one from Desert, because you needed to do laser bridge to get it.
No, Desert had a T-Rock key and a Hera big key.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm mixing them.
See, that's what Keysanity does to you. If you think it confuses the commentators, just try to play it yourself. See what happens.
It looks like ProblemsIRL is dipping back into pod, or is this
Catfish is actually the Eastern Palace big key. So yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no. But it looks like Problem is making his way towards that bow as well. So he's gonna be happy about that.
And Ninban just picked it up.
Yep.
So, there we go. Now, of course, there is always the possibility that the pod big key is in swamp. And, you know, pod big key in swamp is, you know, I think they had that last night as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's 10 chests, I think, in swamp. So it's definitely not a bad play, even though you might want to go mode it.
There are 10 chests in swamp, 6 of which are pain in the butt to get to. Oh, there we go. Pod Big Key was in the Dark Maze of Pod. So, Hammer Yump saves you a bunch today. How important is the Hammer Yump for this mode, Walther?
It's very important, I would say. It saves you a lot of time. And I still haven't learned it yet.
It's doable. I can get it pretty consistently. Slowly, but consistently.
Yeah, Hammer Jump definitely seems like Keysanity's version of Ice Palace Bomb Jump to learn.
Mm-hmm. So with the big key found in Palace of Darkness, with Problems not using any more keys, I feel he may go straight for Helmosaur right now.
Yeah, it seems like a good play, and when he's done with that, he can actually mirror and finish Eastern Palace as well.
Yeah. Mirror, finish Eastern, go mode Swamp, and get out. I believe we can say with some degree of confidence that ProblemsIRL has found himself in go mode.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case.
Yeah. Guess the small key in the library wasn't that big a deal.
I mean, it could still be a small key for pod, so it could be a big deal for the other runners.
That is true. Yeah, Probs did get the Tempered Sword there in the basement of Pod. Or in the Stolfos basement. And yeah, if Probs has the bow, he's got the Swamp Palace key. Because I can't really imagine any scenario in which you'd open the chest on the right side of that rupee basement and not the one on the left side.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so we found a blue boomerang in the compass room of Swamp.
Yeah, and both runners are electing to go to the left side swamp right away.
Yep. Without the knowledge that Problems has about this seed, they will be attempting to full clear Swamp, which is, of course, everyone's least favorite thing to do. Or maybe not everyone's least favorite, but one of my least favorite. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's definitely time consuming.
At the moment, no one has finished this race. But I imagine there may be some dot-dones imminent. The squeaking you were hearing... Oh, never mind. I think that was my chair, sorry.
So Caladrius is going back into ice, which unfortunately is going to be a waste of time for him.
Ugh. Did he find the big key for ice?
I guess he must have found it, because I think it's the only chest he haven't checked.
Huh. Alright, ProblemsIRL setting up for the quickest of kills. And nails the Armos Knights with a barrage of arrows.
Yeah, even without silvers, that fight is pretty basic.
And we, of course, have Bugnet from d2kemps, which is the best outside of the powder. That's all I'm saying.
Or even better if you combine them.
Woohoo! And
Ninban has found his gold sword, so...
nice.
Wait, where was that gold sword? Because it must have been in Swamp, but Kemps haven't found a sword in Swamp.
Oh. Apparently it was in the pod big chest, I'm being told.
Oh, okay, so Pod has two swords. The Pod big key was in the Dark Maze in Pod.
So while Ninban has found the pod big key, he has not, unfortunately, found a small key that he needs to get to Helmasaur. He needs one more of those. Whereas ProblemsIRL will be stepping into Swamp and heading directly to the back to face off against Argus.
Yeah, this is gonna be a quick trip for Problems. Oh, it was the iced tea room that Caladrius missed when he was in before.
Oh, he skipped iced tea. That's unfortunate, and even more unfortunate that he decided to go back in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you miss or skip one chest, then it's just gonna eat away. You're gonna keep thinking of that chest holding something important for the rest of the race.
And we have, in fact, had our first dot done. That is from Elminster with a time of 1:46:30, who apparently improved his Keysanity PB by just under 30 minutes. So well played to Elminster.
Yeah, well played, Elminster. That's definitely impressive.
And we did find out that Sahasrara just had a piece of heart, and d2kemps just picked up the key in the library. Looks like it may have been a pod key?
I'm not sure, actually. I just missed it.
He has a pod key. If he was out of pod keys before, he now has one, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking up the temper now as well.
Neat.
And meanwhile, Problems is heading up for Ganon's tower.
Oh, you mean Sahasrara? Which, I know people like to pronounce that name in weird ways. I like to pronounce it, you know, somewhat correctly. That may not be the actual pronunciation, but I'll take it where I can get it. Alright, so Caladrius just picking up that Eastern Palace big key. So that's going to help out in that department. He's going to need to get into pod, though.
Yeah, but
get that bow.
Maybe it's combining those two checks together.
Wait, wasn't he in Swamp?
No, it was Ninban and d2kemps.
Oh, I guess he checked the first chest of Swamp. I saw him opening it up. Oh, and this is unfortunate. Caladrius is gonna head up to Eastern without going to pod. Checking the checking just the big chest, I think.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it.
And ProblemsIRL making his way into Ganon's tower, 7 crystals. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, and he will not be checking any of them.
Yeah, that's definitely correct.
Or there's really 27 chests in Ganon's Tower, but he'll not be checking any of the 22 where the big key could be. There's a chance he might check some of the ones on the way up in case of silvers.
Yeah, I mean, silvers is pretty much the only thing that he's wanting right now. I mean, red mail wouldn't hurt, but...
Yeah, I think when you don't have silver arrows, it is, like, actually the right move to check the final chest. And potentially the one before it. The other two might be a little far out of the way, depending on what you're doing. If Probs does find the silver arrows, he's going to need to watch that arrow count. And we've got our winner of this race, Elminster, in chat, so everybody can say hi. I believe Sazrala's closet had a bottle in it, and not much else.
And we actually have a second finisher now as well, Elmagus, with the second place on 1 hour and 42 minutes and 90 seconds. So, GG to you.
So looks like Elm is the charm today. If your name starts with ELM, you get to win.
Yeah, looks like it.
Ooh, that's gonna be a real unfortunate situation, because we're being told. Now I'll just let that happen when it happens on stream. Problems, of course, being subjected to his namesake by a lack of boots here in the previous room.
Yeah, and Caladrius is going for that bow now, at least.
And there's our third place, Kyung92, making his expected appearance in the top so many of your race. In Keysanity, he is one to watch in the upcoming Keysanity tournament. Caladrius expressing his disapproval with the dark chests and pod.
And just 10 arrows in the validation chest, so not the right kind of arrows.
Very true. Alright, so there's that 4th T-Rock key for Caladrius.
And Problems making quick work of Aghanim, heading for that last final battle.
Well, time to slash Ganon with a piece of his own medicine. That bacon sword. 12 hits for the first 2 phases, or 6 spins if you prefer, or some combination thereof. Problem's getting the interesting Ganon stopping in the middle play there. With Butter, it's just going to be 6 hits. Basically, a Butter Sword slash is as powerful as a Tempered Sword spin.
Yeah,
ProblemsIRL.
making quick work is already in the 3rd phase. I don't know if he has any potions, but I think... I'm not sure. He should have at least one.
I think he picked up a blue one and never used it.
Yeah, that's my thinking as well.
You find the arrows in Tower of Hera, which means the basement. Because they cleared Tower of Hera except for the, the coffee break basement.
Yeah, and I don't even think they found the small key.
Yeah, so small key could be in Ganon's tower for all we know. Problem's conserving his magic. You gotta get 12 spins off here with the Tempered Sword at just the right time on Ganon. And there it is. Problem's finishing off the Silverless Ganon fight. We had Gamer Cal finish in 4th place with a 157.19, and Problems finishes in 5th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 58 minutes and 22 seconds.
Yeah, GG to you, Problems. That was definitely impressive.
Alright, we'll see about getting Problems in here to talk about this. And we've also had Killer App 23 finish in 6th place with a time of 1:58.53. Well played to him. And there's Hippos in 7th place with a 1:59.47.
Yeah, definitely a big GG to our top 7 finishers finishing under 2 hours. That's it's not easy in the Keysanity.
And we are now joined by our restream winner, ProblemsIRL. How you doing?
Hello, that was quite the scene. I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah, GG to your Problems.
Yeah, I'm told this seed was named after you.
It was?
Yeah, because it had lots of
No,
problems.
I get it. I get it. Dudes, that was something else. Yeah. I see very few people there avoiding the like basically everything that the seed threw at you. It was quite the. There were quite a few obstacles, you know. It baited you into Eastern. It baited you into Ice really early, and it actually wanted you to go to Ice, which is weird because I don't know. It's just not something you would usually consider doing. You know, considering how many items you need to go to Ice.
It wanted you to go to Ice, but it didn't necessarily want you to finish it. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And there was just a whole lot of stuff. The boots were in everybody's favorite graveyard ledge.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
And so some people found that and some people didn't. But of course, the people who found that ended up, you know, finding extra, you know, having to check extra spots.
Probably a good thing I never found them then.
Yeah. It's actually being pretty helpful to some of our runners here who have a little trouble with that hammer jump, because the small key on the library turned out to be another pod key. So.
Oh damn! Yeah, that helps. I was wondering what that was. I expected it to be the swamp key for the longest time, but then everything I needed just showed up in pod, and I was actually pretty annoyed.
Yeah, that location for the bow and the swamp key just right next to each other. It's just like, here, do you want to get trolled today?
Yeah, I hate going to pod with low keys and no bow. If I found the bow or like the third pod key earlier, I would have gone there way sooner. But it just took way too long, and then it showed up in Turtle Rock of all things.
Yeah. Well, luckily for you, it was required to go to the Turtle Rock laser bridge any way you slice it.
That's true. But then I went back in after that next key showed up in Desert. Together with the Hera big key, that was just the worst.
Yeah.
It just sent you back up the mountain, so you obviously, after finding that key, you do Hera, because it's a crystal and you can beat it now. And then you're right next to T-Rock, so it makes sense to go there, even though you do have better options.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have to go back up there again
for T-Rock
if you had to. So yeah, it makes plenty of sense. So yeah, this was a well-played seed by you. I especially was impressed with your Mothula fight.
Thank you.
That was, you know, what, like 7 hearts, green mail, fighter sword, Mothula. Yeah. I mean, you did have the fire rod to do some damage there, but still. I mean, the
seed was pretty rough in general. I felt I had to do Vitreous with green mail, regular magic, and master sword.
Ugh.
But I don't know if people had the same problem, because there was that sword sitting in pod, which you could have gotten pretty early.
We have had a sword. We did have a 3 sword, tempered sword fight at one point, and I believe one of our runners attempted it with fighter's sword.
Oh, jeez.
Which is unfortunate.
That's crazy, yeah.
Because somebody skipped Ice Rod Cave, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Now, sometimes you skip Ice Rod Cave on purpose, sometimes you skip it on accident because a crab gets you.
Yeah, I don't know. I dislike the Ice Rod Cave skip personally, especially in the early game when Moon Pearl is still missing. I don't like to skip any spots whatsoever. So that paid off. But I can see not wanting to go to Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, it's very possible. Alright. So, Problems, you are planning on... You are in the tournament coming up, yes?
I am in the tournament, yes. And I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Do you know who your first round opponent is?
Yes, my first round opponent is Brewers fan JP.
Oh,
who's also
yeah.
in this race.
I know that guy. He's pretty good.
I actually don't know him. I've been kind of away from the rando scene a little bit after I dropped out of the fall tournament, so there's actually tons of names in this race alone that I've never heard of before. But I'm looking forward to it.
There's been just a massive influx of players, let me tell you. All over the place.
I assume so, especially after the GDQ run, which I have yet to watch. Now that I'm thinking about it, guess I'm going to do that right now, after this.
Spoiler alert, they kill Ganon.
Oh, damn.
Dang it. Anyway, so...
Yeah, well, you definitely showed that you're ready for the tournament today, Problems.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Alright, so is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers today?
If you're new to Rando, or to Keysanity for that matter, and you played in today's race, and this was like your first Keysanity, then please don't get discouraged by that. This seed was horrible. It's not always this bad.
I believe it.
I can just see how somebody plays Keysanity or Rando for the first time and gets this and is like, oh my god, this is horrible, but it's usually a lot better.
Alright, so sound advice from ProblemsIRL, who once again finished in 5th place with a very solid 158.22 for this seed. Alright, so you're welcome to hang around or whatever you want to do, but we're going to go ahead and follow the rest of our racers as they continue the run.
I'm probably just going to hop off then. Enjoy your races, y'all.
Yeah, well, take care.
Yeah, you
GG.
do.
D2. He went to the Pyramid Ferry, and unfortunately, he found the small key for Thieves Town and the big key for Ice.
Oh.
So,
that is...
Yeah, he's being trolled pretty hard right now.
Ball of troll right now. Meanwhile, Caladrius is on the laser bridge, gonna get basically everything he needs right now. The Tower of Hera big key was on the right side of Desert, where the big key for Desert usually is.
Yeah, and D2, having already checked a lot of things in pod and only needing the big key for pod, it can take quite a while before going back there, because usually you don't bet on vanilla keys.
Wow, really? Ninban went there, got the T-Rock key, and then left? That is unfortunate.
Oh yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Well, D2 is going for the pedestal. Unfortunate.
I was kind of hoping it would say the small key to Hera. Which, of course, would lead to the silvers.
Yes, someone did check the library key. It turns out it's another key to pod, which will be helpful to any of our runners who picked up the boots and can't do the hammer jump.
And to show that this seed has really been trolley, we now are we have 3 runners all looking for different items, and they are all on really weird spots.
Yep. So D2 making his way back to pod. Perhaps he will find that big key and manage to clear the dungeon.
Yeah, that will put him in go mode.
He is, however, going to be disappointed by Sahasrara first. Silver's placement were kind of sad here.
And Ninban is about to get some...
No, Eastern Map and Desert Small Key were on Laser Bridge. And, oh boy, Ninban is getting jebaited by the pedestal right now. Grabs a single green rupee from the pedestal, drops a bomb, and probably wants to blow up more than just the pedestal. He'd like to, I think, just blow up the entire woods at this point.
Yeah, I think that bomb he dropped on the pedestal is worth more than what he actually got there.
Yep. You could say that the bombs are worth 5 rupees if you pay 50 for 10.
And the thing that's unfortunate with Ninban's well, he's probably already on his tracker put that he checked desert.
Oh, well, he's heading back over there, so perhaps
maybe he realizes.
I don't know how you would end up going into desert, getting the first chest and not the second one. But, you know, it's a thing that I think you can do.
Yeah, it's that factor of human mistakes playing in.
Alright, so D2 once again attempting to line up the hammer jump. No. For some of you more beginners at the hammer jump, one thing you can do is actually go past here, go downstairs to where the bow ended up being here today, and give yourself a little more time by coming down the bridge and starting from there.
And Ninban picking up that big key to Hera and also doing some quaking the chest as well.
Yep, that seems like a reasonable reaction to finding that particular chest.
And d2kemps getting his big key for Pod.
Yep. And realizing it's his go mode item, he is officially heading directly for the boss. So he's going to miss out on the butter sword.
Yeah, this can be quite close between Ninban and d2kemps because they're going to head into Ganon's tower almost the same. Ninban has the... he only has to use the mirror dose because he's already up in Death Mountain.
So the Ganon's Tower big key was in the Hookshot Cave, third chest. And Ninban driving his way over to Ganon's Tower, but this tower will not open. Gonna need to mirror first.
Yeah, I've tried to open it before without 7 crystals. It does not work.
Yep, it does happen. You also can't pull the pedestal with only 2 pendants. Just throwing that one out there. So Ninban should make pretty short work of Tower of Hera. Meanwhile, D2 heading right into Helmasaur.
d2kemps using the sword to get some easier hammer shots on Helmasaur.
Ooh, and Ninban getting trolled by Trolldorm, doing what he does best.
Yeah, he has that name for a reason.
And getting trolled once again, just knocked up onto the ledge there, but that'll finish off Trolldorm. For a quick item pickup, and Ninban picking up the 7th crystal. That will take us to the final confrontation.
Yeah, and d2kemps saving and quitting, going up for Ganon's Tower as well.
So Ninban is a Death Mountain climb ahead of D2 right now. Meanwhile, we've had several finishes since then. I'm not going to read out all the times, but I am going to read out everyone who's finished since the last time I announced. So we had Maximum Barnage in 8th, we had Inknun in 9th, we had Sigma in 10th, we had Zelgadison in 11th, Korek in 12th, and Numberplay in 13th. I've seen them in the chat. We've had Reg in 14th, Big Dunka in 15th, Saberwolf in 16th, Runner Watcher in 17th, Gemini in 18th, Sir Beater of Posterior in 19th, Prior the 57 in 20th, Dragon Strike 1988 in 21st, Truzzle in 22nd, and Dow TMB in 23rd. Also Hacksaw in 24th. So there we go.
Yeah, big GG to all of you.
And there's Nif Boy finishing in 25th with a 2:20.38.
And Caladrius finishing off Trolldorn.
Alright, so Caladrius finishing off Tower of Hera, meaning he's just got one place left to go, and that's Palace of Darkness. But he's gonna have to find a key.
Yeah, it looks like he might be heading for the Pyramid Ferry.
Ooh, how can Moldorm despawn Ganon's tower?
That's a very good question that I don't have an answer for.
Because apparently that happened to one of our runners.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Fat Fairy contained the Thieves' Town small key and the Ice Palace big key.
Yeah, and both of them, those chests, they don't have anything decent runners need. And Ninban is making pretty short work of the Gauntlet and the rest of Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I know that despawn can happen, but apparently there was a Moldorm version that happened to one of our runners. I don't exactly know. So we see that Ninban has decided to go ahead and check the chests on the way up.
Yeah, they're not going to be much help, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to check for those silvers.
One of them wasn't the small key to Hera, was it?
I don't think so.
I know we found the map of Hera in the third chest.
And Caladrius is going for that Thieves' Town big chest.
There's your pod key.
Well, that's the last pod key, so maybe he's going over to pod now.
It's
hopefully.
in Thieves' Town big chest.
And
well,
Ninban is now heading into...
Thieves Town Big Key, I believe you got. Well, no, Thieves Town Big Key was in Agate Tower.
Yeah.
So maybe you didn't get that. But Thieves Town's Small Key was
at
also the Fat Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy had Ice Palace Big Key and Thieves Town Small Key. So you had to go quite a bit out of the way to get all your pod keys if you wanted to not bomb jump.
Yeah, and I believe that the Dark Maze is required by the logic to have all the 6 keys.
All 6 are required for the Dark Maze. Or that one of them, that the other 2 are like in the other locations there. So like the Vanilla Big Key Chest and the Harmless Hellway.
Oh, yeah.
But then those would be accessible also. Alright, Caladrius has that big key. Thank goodness.
And Ninban was pretty close to falling off the ledge there.
Is he still missing a key? I think he might still be missing a key. Oh, he already got to the boss door. Okay, good. The lamp was at the blacksmith.
And GG to Ninban, finishing up the fight against Ganon.
Well done, Ninban.
Ninban finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 27 minutes and 58 seconds. GG.
Well done to Ninban. That is a ending game message I have not seen.
Yeah, I think the new version must have put in some new ones, because there's been a few others I've seen as well.
And we are joined in chat now by Ninban. Hello, Ninban. How you doing?
Yeah, GG.
Hello,
Ninban.
guys. Thanks. I'm doing fine. The seed was Tully, and I made very wrong mistakes.
Yeah, it was definitely a trolley seed in many ways. So how did you feel about that? The Desert Palace, the big key for her.
Oh yeah, that was what killed the whole seed for me.
Oh,
I mean, I was sure the T-Rock was a crystal by then, and when I got the small key I needed, I just went straight for it, and I didn't get the Hera big key, so.
Oh, that is really unfortunate.
Frustrating, yeah. I haven't blind pulled the pedestal before that.
Yeah, we saw it. It was a beautiful, beautiful green rupee. Best green rupee you ever earned, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the longest to get the green rupee the game.
And I think I'm gonna bring in our next finisher as well, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
And hello, d2kemps. Welcome and well done.
Yeah, well played.
GG, man.
By the way, d2kemps' official time was 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 46 seconds. So this seed was not what we call kind to anyone really, but really to anyone who is newer to this game. I feel this seed was particularly trolly. Mainly because if you weren't able to pull off that hammer jump, you had to go way out of your way to find an extra key for pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I started talking and forgot I was on push to talk. Yeah, hammer jump required. If I had gotten it the first time, I think I would have saved 15 minutes or something.
Ugh. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, so the last pod key was actually in Thieves and Big Chest.
I almost went there, looking for pod big key.
Yep. And of course, the pod big key being in the dark maze, something that can happen and does happen in real life, but you don't expect to see it.
Well,
Sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
I don't normally go to pod in real life.
Well, why not?
The other thing was the C, like, everyone says, oh, you need to learn hammer jump, and skip the front door of pod, but...
You couldn't.
You couldn't,
skip the front door of
the
pod.
bow was behind it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. But yeah. One unfortunate thing, Caladrius was the first person to go into pod, who is our fourth runner here. He was the first person to go into pod, but instead of heading to the back, he elected to do the vanilla big key chest. And so he could have found the bow and the swamp key way early, but instead that did not happen.
That's unfortunate.
So this seed is hereby named. Who rolled this seed?
Wasn't it Rich?
I assume Feasel.
Well, we could call this Feasel's a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah,
today.
I guess that would be accurate.
And yeah, we've got some pretty. I mean, even with the way this seed treated you guys, that nobody is going to besmirch any of the times you guys got today.
I died a lot on a lot of bosses that I shouldn't have died on. I skipped out on bosses I shouldn't have skipped out on. I feel like I could have done better. And
yeah, well, I mean,
I'm glad I got this out of my essentially out of my system before the tournament race.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, nobody's going to.
this-
No one's going to expect you to do Fighter Sword Vitreous, man.
Yeah, and then the seed giving you your first mail upgrade on Laser Bridge as well.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Was it the last chest in Laser Bridge?
hmm
Oh, the one I never got. Nice.
Oh. So yeah, Ninban finishing with green mail. That's you know, better than I can usually do.
If I had to choose one thing to not have between like a mail upgrade and a sword upgrade, I know what I would choose.
I believe it. And on that note, Ninban did in fact pick up the butter sword.
Where was it?
Pod big chest.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, everybody else on stream just, got that big key and pieced out. But I think you weren't done when you got the big key.
When I got the big key, I wasn't in go mode yet, and
Right, because you
I
still
still
didn't have
needed
the
a
Hera big key.
yeah, and I still needed a small key to go for turret pod.
Right. So, what do you guys think of Keysanity as a whole? Even, regardless of this seed, what do you guys think of Keysanity as a mode?
For myself, I like it. It's very fun. It leads to varied games, and there's less bomb and arrow upgrades, I think. So it's a little less annoying to find them. Yeah, I like it just because it adds even more required things in the logic.
All right.
I like options. Like the big reason I really like Randomizer is just so that I don't like. I've run other games and I've just gotten tired of them, and I know that basic Randomizer I would eventually get tired of as well. But having just a bunch of options of different ways to play this same game really just keeps it fresh, essentially.
Yeah. So even if Keysanity might not be your cup of tea at the time, sometimes you might feel like a Keysanity seed, or an entrance seed, or a Triforce seed, or a just all sorts of options that are available to play this game.
Yeah, I'm more likely to be interested in a Keysanity seed or an open seed than anything else, but like I do want to do an entrance randomizer every once in a while.
Yeah, I can't resist me some entrance, but let me tell you, it's a trip.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know that I'll
do
do Madness again.
That was a thing.
Also on the Who to Blame game, it was Adirondack who
Oh, okay. So this is Adirondack.
generated the seed, yeah.
This is Adirondack Rick's a series of unfortunate events.
So blame Rick.
Well, all right then.
So, are you both in the tournament?
Yep. My race is on Tuesday.
Yeah, me too. My race will be sometime, maybe Saturday or Sunday. I haven't set it yet, but I'm against Caladrius, who is still running right now.
Ah, yeah. I remember that. You guys were talking beforehand. So you guys are... So this is sort of a preview of what might happen in the upcoming match.
Goodness, I hope not for Caladrius' sake.
And I hope for myself, yes.
I'm against Genja. I haven't really watched any of their game. But the voting on Challenge has us, I think, still in a dead heat. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. So, must feel good to be favored, or at least not favored.
Yeah, I feel bad for the runners up against Christos and Andy. And TGH.
Yeah. Well, the upset is always possible. The logic can really mess with people. And you could get the trolliest seed possible, and somebody could just go for all the gambles.
Oh yeah, I mean...
That'd be really cool.
You can win against some of these big players if they do big mistakes, but it's just down to luck.
I mean, to be fair, if I was paired against some of those top runners, I would absolutely be making all of the stupid gambles, like every single one.
Hey, we actually searched exactly the same number of items.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and you both got your 7 crystal at the same time as well. Only it was different crystals. One got the Tower of Hera, and then the other got the pod.
Oh, so you could leave Tower of Hera and immediately go into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that's what I did.
All right, so Caladrius is coming up on his Ganon fight. You guys are welcome to stick around, but we're going to commentate our way through Caladrius' fight, maybe talk to him, and then we'll call this a seed. All right?
Yeah, I should probably take a nap. Have a good night, everyone.
Good call.
Yeah, have a good time and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you. You too. If
Good
you're
luck.
All right, so Caladrius, putting as many sword slashes in Ganon as he possibly can. Get a quick tempered spin there. Feel like he's got about 5 or 6 more hits before the next phase.
No! Unfortunately, the
He's got a fairy.
He has the fairy. Okay.
He went to fairy room in the tower. I saw that. So he's just face tanking as much damage as he has to. And just a little short of ending phase 2, but that should put him into phase 3, no problem. A little bit of hook shot and back and forth, which is a perfectly fine way to dodge fire bats. Oh, and he's plenty prepared for this fight. One thing I always say is, if you're not sure of your skill level at one of these fights, be prepared. Even if you are sure of your skill level at these fights, be prepared for the worst.
Yeah, and he's gonna try to set up the torch glitch here now as well. And there you go.
Alright, so the Silverless Ganon fight. Much easier with torch glitch. And he's doing the lamp to light these just to make sure he has enough magic to go through it. He does have 2 magic refill potions in reserve, so I don't think that's going to be much of a problem.
Yeah, for sure, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to be safe.
It is possible in one lighting of torches to get 3 Silverless hits on Ganon.
And that's with the fire rod, right?
Yes, you need to use the fire rod, and it is a very tight timing. Basically, you hold out the sword, and then fire the fire rod as soon as Ganon would hit the bottom of the arena, and make sure you're standing near him so you can get the first shot off, and then the other 2 you just do like normal. But yeah, you need to be holding out the fire rod in advance because it's really hard to get the spin otherwise. Or you hold out the sword. You can't hold out the fire rod. Why would you do that?
You can try.
I'd love to be able to hold out the fire rod.
Well, you can, but you have to hunt while doing it with item dash.
Okay. Yeah, there's that. I'm also told you can. Hold out the fire rod in Zelda 1. Except it's more the magic wand. This is the wrong game. I agree with Caladrius' decisions not to take that shot.
He's playing it safe, and that's a pretty good strategy in this fight as well.
There it goes! Caladrius takes down Ganon, no problem. The
Big
Silverless
GG
Ganon.
to Caladrius.
Well done.
And he finishes on a official SRL time of 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 15 seconds. GG.
And that is good enough for a 43rd place finish, and believe me, that's nowhere near the bottom. There are plenty of racers in this race. And Caladrius is just going to get through these credits in a hurry, because I think he wants to try to jump in here. He's gonna get in here as soon as he gets the chance. And we'll get to hear a little bit more from our last runner here today. So Walter, what do you think of the seed today?
Yeah, I was kind of happy that I didn't run this seed.
Yeah, I was sitting here like, you know what? Maybe I would have left this one at home.
This might actually be a good seed right before the tournament, because you have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah. I think the one thing that would have trolled me the most was I would have tried to make the early Mothula play and died several times.
I agree with that. I made a lot of early Mothula.
Yeah, Mothula with 6 hearts and green mail. Fighter sword isn't really fun.
There he is. And let's move him on in. And GG, sir.
GG's.
Yeah, GG.
I'm sorry for how laggy it looked. It's a problem in my emulator. I'll look it up after the race.
All right. I have been saying Caladrius. Am I saying it wrong?
No. I actually don't know myself as Caladrius or Caladrius. I accept both.
All right then. Thank you very much. So, about that abomination of a seed.
I can honestly say that's the first time I've been trolled by library.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that feeling, dude.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir over here.
I thought so.
That innocent-looking library.
Yeah, it's just a key. I can probably skip it. Oh, wait.
You gotta make sure you remember the library when it's got something like a key or something on it.
Yeah, I had it in the back of my mind, but a bit too far back.
Yeah, a little far back there. Yeah. This seed, one of the observations we were making is that this seed was not friendly to people who can't do the hammer yump.
Oh, I can't do it, so yeah, I noticed.
It's required an additional key, and that key I believe you found in the big chest of Thieves Town?
Yeah, where I found the small key in the Pyramid Ferry.
Yep.
So that pretty much led me on a small world tour because I don't know the hammer jump. I guess I'll practice that for the tournament.
Yeah, it's actually a doable trick. It's not that hard to do. You just got to practice it and make sure you can get it down. There are some easy ways to do it, and if you have to, I would recommend coming in from the top and doing it that way because you get more time.
Ah, right, smart.
Especially in Keysanity, since you want to get over there most of the time.
Yeah, it's 2 free chests and 1 key less required.
Yes.
The nice troll of the big key being in there.
Yeah, that is something that can happen. And
Yep.
you know the logic says that you need all six small keys to get in there because logic assumes you'll use your keys.
Weird. Bot is a bit weird.
Yep. So but yeah, and apparently it was in a interesting turn of events. You were being featured at the same time as your opponent for this next week.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Ninban, are you still in here?
I'm still in here.
All right. So I hope you guys are ready for your race.
Oh yeah, I'm hyped up for the rematch now.
Yeah, let's rematch.
Let's go for the 1-1.
Yes.
All right. So yeah. So looking here, differences between you and Ninban. Ninban did find the ether medallion because
I did find that eventually when
so
I did
you got
Hera.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Ninban also found the butter sword, which was
Oh.
in the pod big chest.
Ah, I just noped right out there when I
Yep.
got the big key.
Yeah,
But
everyone
Butter
else-
and Cheeto isn't a big difference, I think.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I
of course-
I just took it because I didn't have Go mode yet.
Ah, yeah, fair enough.
So
When
yeah,
you're
I
not
was
in
like,
Go mode, you're opening everything.
yeah, I was about to mirror out, then I wait. Wait, there's no text box? Oh, this is the big key of pod.
But
Did anyone find the Hera Smoky for the silvers?
nope.
No one did.
Ah.
So it's,
Everyone did it silverless.
yeah.
I have to assume Ganon's tower somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Or
That's about the only place I have left.
where else could it be, right?
Ice Palace big chest?
No, I
don't
think
think so.
someone checked
no.
it.
Oh, okay.
I think someone checked Ice Palace big chest,
Yeah.
and it was not the Hera small key. I gotta figure it's somewhere in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, probably.
We had somebody check Spike Cave. It wasn't there. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things. Well, all right. So, this seed, not kind to most newer runners or anybody who doesn't know how to do the hammer jump. So, this has been a clinic in why you need to know how to do hammer jump.
Yeah, I got a rough waking up for that one.
Oh,
All
right,
I made
everybody.
a few mess ups going through big key doors without a big key.
Eh.
I sometimes forget I'm in Keysanity and not in open or something.
I do the opposite. Like I'll find myself playing open, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm in go mode," and then I'll go to big key doors without getting the big key because I'm like, "Oh, I've got all the things."
Wow, it's indeed the opposite.
Anyway, so yeah, that was a very interesting seed, and I applaud you and anybody else for making it all the way through it.
Yeah, it was interesting indeed. It looks so nice in the beginning with loads of items.
Oh yeah, yeah, moon pearl, hammer,
Yeah. Ice
hook
rod,
shot.
glove. The works.
But it's like, nope, we're gonna troll you with keys. We give you all the items you want. We're gonna troll you with keys. That's how it's gonna
yeah.
work.
Yeah, something like that.
And also, there was something that just broke my heart. So you went in. You were the first player to go into pod, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 keys, and you, instead of going to the back, you went to the big key chest.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's a gamble I took there.
yeah, and unfortunately, you could have had both the bow and the swamp key there, but nope.
Ah, too bad.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was a risk I took. It got me with Cheeto at least, which was
Yep.
down there.
Now that is a chest you can reach without using the key, though.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I usually just combine those two, so that's why I have that like muscle memoried.
Yeah, that is something that's generally more efficient when you have all the keys you need.
Yeah, I should have gone to the back. That would have been way better in the end, but I took the
But
risk.
there's no way to know that. So
Yeah, statistically I should have done that, that's true. Since there's 3 chests I can reach additionally with going to the back and just 1 with big key chest.
so yeah, that, like I said, I'm not saying it was a wrong move. I'm just saying it was
Yeah,
it was a
it was a gamble.
unfortunate move. and sometimes you want to make the gambles there, because in Keysanity I find there's far fewer opportunities to make real big gambles.
Yeah. Since you just are reliant on the entire world to get the keys.
Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you'd like to say to our chat before we wrap things up today?
Well, thanks for watching, thanks for commentating, and thanks for tracking. And be sure to tune in next weekend for me versus Ninban, the rematch.
What can I say more? Just listen to this guy.
That seems fine. All right. So, with that, I'd like to thank all of our runners, Caladrius, Ninban, d2kemps, and ProblemsIRL for showing off their skills today on the stream. I would like to thank our trackers, who are Sin and Voidborn Beast, for keeping track of all the items in action on the screen. And of course, I'd like to thank Feasel for the restream, and of course my co-commentator Walther the Fourth for...
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you very much. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for watching this amazing race. If you enjoyed anything you saw here today, the best way to support everybody involved is to just give them a follow, and we would all appreciate it. And yeah, so with that, I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I've been Walter the Fourth.
And I'll see you later.
Bye.